Good afternoon and welcome to another video on the Life After Brady channel. Today we're going to take a look as we go into Week 11 at the Patriots' outlook for the rest of their season, what the chances are making the playoffs. Can they win the division? Can they win the wild card? Or the opposite, can they get the number one pick? Can they get a top 5 pick? We're going to rely here on Football Outsiders, their DVOA, as well as we'll later look into their specific chances. They're looking more detailed. What we're going to look at here is just DVOA. At this point, got a pretty good sample size of these teams the first 10 weeks of the year, what they've done. So DVA is a good representation of how they've actually performed and what they should perform the rest of the year. For this exercise, we're going to just say that the better team in DVOA wins the game. It gives us at least an idea of who the teams are playing, and are they around that team, or should they be favored, should they not be favored. So right here we're looking at the division. The Patriots, Dolphins, and Bills obviously left out the Jets. With an 0-4, they're not coming back to win the division. The Bills have a bye this week, and then otherwise the teams will be playing all 7 weeks. The Bills just have 6 games left. So the Patriots are 25th in DVOA, Dolphins 10th, Bills 12th. I'm going to kind of describe this in a tiered layer. Obviously the Patriots were the big upset last week, but it's an upset. So this week, let's take a look. The Texans. Technically, the Texans are slightly better, but 22nd versus 25th, they're in the same tier of teams as how I would describe it. So the Patriots have a shot here versus the following week. Cardinals 11. Cardinals are just another tier to 2 tiers above the Patriots. And then Chargers the following week. Again, right now with the Patriots, no reason to think they can't win that game, but they are slightly worse than the Chargers. Rams the following week, same as the Cardinals, and then they finish up with the Dolphins and Bills and Jets. Dolphins and Bills both well above where they are, and the Jets be the favorite again. That is Week 17. So the only thing I'll say though on that, so that's one game remaining. They already played the Broncos, who are worse than them, and I believe that's the only other team on the schedule that's technically worse than them in DVOA. So per this rough estimate, they'd finish 5-11. Obviously, not going to make a playoff game at 5-11. Let's see how the Dolphins and Bills compare. And this is where DVOA does a much better job, but this gives you at least an idea of what they're expecting. Dolphins have a cake schedule the remainder of the year. The Chiefs, the only team in top 10 in DVOA that they'll play the remainder of the year. They finish the next 3 weeks. They have the 3 worst teams: the Broncos, Jets, and Bengals. They then finish with the Patriots, Raiders, and Bills. Obviously, those final 2 weeks basically are going to come up with the season for the Dolphins, but no reason to think they aren't 9-4 going into that Patriot game Week 15. So 9-4, basically you're looking to win your 2 of your final 3 to definitely make a wild card, and if they win 3 out of their last 3, and obviously against that Bills Week 17, they probably win the division. The Bills bye this week, and then Chargers versus the 49ers. 49ers, I have no idea with this, obviously who's healthy, who's hurt for them. 15th. They could be 28th some weeks, and they could be 5th if they play the way they did against the Patriots. Steelers, obviously a hard game. Broncos and Patriots, very winnable games, and then Dolphins for the division. So most likely playing for that division Week 17. Here we have the Dolphins 12-4, Bills 11-10. Obviously that flip-flops if the Bills win Week 17. So obviously very unlikely the Patriots to win the division. So let's take a look at the wild card, and this is where it is a weird league right now. You got the Chiefs and Steelers at the top of the league, and you've got these remaining teams, all 6-3, fighting it out. So basically here you're looking at 5 playoff spots between the Colts and Titans. One of them will win the AFC South. Dolphins, Bills, one of them will win the AFC East, and then you get the 3 wild card spots. The Broncos are the team after the Patriots, so there is no 5-5 team right now in the AFC. Pretty surprising, and the Patriots are the only 4-5 team. This is just a weird league of no one in the middle, really. So taking a look here at the Colts and Titans, the same way we looked at the AFC East teams. Colts have a schedule very similar to the Dolphins. There's one team better than them that they'll play. It's this now. With that being said, they're currently ranked 5th in DVOA, so DVOA clearly loves them. I do not like the Colts nearly this much. Phillip Rivers, can't trust him, but they have a good defense, so that the defense part of this makes sense. Can they win 18-14, 17-14, 21-18 type of games? Maybe. but I don't think with their terrible offense that this is justifiable. But hey, we'll go with it. Packers, that's going to be a tough game, but they are a better team. Titans and Texans, both divisional games. You never know what can happen in divisional games. Raiders, Texans, Steelers, Jaguars to finish. I mean, they get the Texans twice. They have the Jaguars in there. Very easy to see how the Colts, with such a easy schedule, can win out here. They have not the easiest schedule, though. Titans looks like the Titans have the harder schedule. Their average DVOA of their opponents is 15.3. You got the Ravens, Colts, and Packers all remaining on their schedule. Easiest game remaining is the Jaguars and Texans. So not the easiest for the Titans, which is why you'll see later on the Colts are favored to win the AFC South. Moving on to the AFC North, Cleveland Browns and Baltimore Ravens. Browns have the third easiest schedule remaining. You got the Eagles and Jaguars the next 2 weeks, obviously very winnable games. Then Titans and Ravens, both run-first teams that have shown glimpses of being run dominant like they were last year, and then at other times just terrible defenses. So we will see what they get. Giants and Jets, basically automatic wins for the Browns, and then the Steelers to finish up Week 17. And who knows what the Steelers will have to play for Week 17. Could be playing for the 1 seed or could have wrapped it up at that point. So the Browns are projected to go 10-6, much worse than the Ravens, who have the easiest schedule, semi-significantly. Again, they're 6th in DVOA, similar to the Colts. Do you trust that offense? I don't know. But Steelers the only team better than them remaining, and then the Titans are the only team above 20 remaining to go with the Steelers. They finish up against the Cowboys, Browns, Jaguars, Giants, and Bengals. It is hard not to see them making the playoffs and really being that top wildcard team with that finish. Provided they can beat Cleveland, you got to think they go 5-0 to finish pretty easily. Not really hard expectation there. Raiders, much harder schedule. Projected to go 10-6 here. Chiefs, Falcons, Jets, Colts, Dolphins. The Jets and Broncos, both easy wins for them, but otherwise it's a lot of hard games there. And we already went over the Dolphins and Bills. So for that reason, I'll draw your attention to the bottom left side of the screen. Projected final standings. If the favorites win, the Colts and Dolphins would be the division winners at 12-4. The Ravens would also be 12-4, winning the wild card. Bills 11-5, your second wild card. And then this was your the other three teams predicted to go 10-6: Titans, Browns, and Raiders. I did not get into tiebreakers, but basically everyone's going to compete till the end, is what it looks like, with the exception of probably the Ravens. Ravens probably wrap this thing up of not being able to win the division, but should be able to make the wild card. And then Football Outsiders, bottom middle of your screen, what they're projecting. So here they had like mean wins. That's what you're getting the record from. And then your division or wild card chance percentage, that's not your playoff percentage chance. So for the Bills and Colts, there's your division winners. That's the percentage chance they have to win the division versus the Raiders, Dolphins, Ravens, Titans, and Browns. That's all the wild card. So the Colts have a 75% chance to win that division compared to the Titans. As you can see, just such an easy schedule the remainder of the way. Some hard games for the Titans with the Ravens, Colts, and Packers remaining. The Bills have the edge over the Dolphins in that. I was a little surprised by that. Dolphins look like they have an easier schedule, but I'm guessing that's saying that the Bills are just going to be favored over the Dolphins Week 17 is what that is telling me. Ravens basically locked into that wild card seat, as I said. Dolphins, Raiders. Now, see, the Dolphins' wild card percentage is so much lower here because they have a 30% chance to win the division, basically. And then the Raiders, obviously not winning that division with Kansas City, so 56% chance for them to win it, 9.8 wins. 0.4 wins better than Tennessee and the Browns. Titans and Browns projected to miss it here based on win percentage. So we'll wrap up by looking specifically at the Patriots. What are they projected to do? As again, per Football Outsiders, so the part on the left you've already seen, the part in the middle. So average wins, they're projected to win 7.1 wins. From here, 4-5. So they think Jets, obviously a winnable game, and then Chargers, Texans, very winnable games, and you got to think, Dolphins, Bills, those are in the division. Maybe they can win 1 out of 2. So that's where you're getting the 7 wins, which is just middle of nowhere land. Less than 2% chance to win the division, 8% chance to win the wild card, giving you a 10% chance to make the playoffs. So 1 out of 10 times they make the playoffs. Obviously, that requires them to basically beat both the Dolphins and Bills to hurt them, and then you got to win your games you have to win: Texans, Chargers, and Jets. So that's your 5 wins. That gets you to 9 wins. And then you're saying, hey, can we win 1 out of 2 on the West Coast? Chargers, Rams get to 10. Obviously, not very likely. That's why they have it. Top pick, they will not be getting it with 5 wins. No way they can lose more than the Jets or several other teams. And then top 5 pick, this is where it also hurts, 2.7% chance. So basically, they're not going to go 4-12, and even if they did go 4-12, plenty of other teams, the Cowboys, Giants, Washington, Jaguars, all much worse than the Patriots are. Which is why they'll land in the middle, basically, is what it looks like. They'll be nice, 6-10 probably on the low end to 8-8, I'd say, is their cap right now. It's a nice 500 team, is where they're projected to finish, which is going to leave everyone in New England on the optimistic side. Hey, they can win 8 games, and this defense, get all the guys back from COVID and another year of the receivers maybe. But on the negative side, this team gets a year older. You still have no idea what you're doing at quarterback in 2021, and you don't have a top pick to really add the talent. So we will see, though. That is what ourselves and Football Outsiders say. If you enjoyed the video, please like and comment below, and if not already, please subscribe.